Gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. When you're sitting at the table, don't have enough for napkin. When the dealing's done, you gotta know where you're going. Know when we're going. Know when to call but damn. Know when to run when the foot goes but damn. Flow money. When you're sitting at the table. When the dealing's done. You gotta know when to roll it. Know when to hold me. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You gotta count your money. When you're sitting at the table. What's up, everybody? Welcome. It is Tuesday night. Metal night has been sort of created surreptitiously without us even knowing. Oh, it's a fucking balloon animals. Who the hell is the balloon animals for? Please hold. God damn it, hand. It's got to get my little balloon animal sheet. Cosmo. Is Cosmo in the house? Oh, where's the lighter? Ah, for fuck's sakes. All right, everybody hold. I'll explain why I'm a little bit fucking bedraggled currently. Hold on. Time enough for counting when the dealing's done. We gotta know when to hold 'em. All right. No, I haven't got my fucking new mic yet. It's incredibly annoying. Very, very annoyed at the fact that I don't have my new mic. This fucking thing irks me. It looks gross. It makes me feel like a fucking pilot. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. I'll tell you the one way that you're not going to get songs played is to tell me what I should do. All right, so it's Cosmo in the house. I'm Cosmo D from outer space. Where's the Cosmo? Sweetwater would have had it there last week. They wouldn't because they're hand building them. They hand make them. There is no back stock, according to these guys. Customer service rep, even worse. Even worse. Where's Cosmo? Seen Cosmo? All right. Well, here we go. This is what you get. This is what you pay for here at the session. See, this mic is so bad you can't even hear the dulcet tunes of the. There's Cosmo Moore. Happy balloon animals, man. Happy balloon animals. All right, so we're going to start with some unfortunate news. Oh, wait, out there in Hanoi, Sonic Jiminy Crickets. We're going to start with some unfortunate news. The show for Saturday here in Los Angeles has been postponed and rescheduled for November due to obvious reasons. Yeah, don't yell at me, Bam. So, unfortunately, if you have tickets to the Saturday show coming up, it's been rescheduled for November 5th. And if you have tickets to the August show, it's been rescheduled for November 6th. So, unfortunately, It won't be happening this weekend. I am just as bummed as anybody else. So if you want a full refund, then feel free to go to the Segastrom website, and you should be able to get a refund through them if you don't want to have your ticket honored. Sincerest of apologies. Trust me, I am just as fucking bummed as anybody else is. I was really looking forward to it, due to the fact that, it seems pretty obvious that, it's, yeah, I don't want to do shows. That's why I'm not doing it. Is because I don't, it's not going to be a particularly fun one. All right. So anyway, so that's that. I apologize, for that. But as they say in the Boy Scouts, is it? Safety first, But better safe than sorry. I have too much respect and too much affection for the audience to run any risks. All right. So anyway, here we go. Let's get into it. We got some fucking Cosmo's birthday to celebrate with some balloon animals. It is 1984's Ride the Lightning. We have also done Ride the Lightning, which is an epic fucking track because it features, of course, Cliff Burton on bass. If you don't know anything about Cliff Burton, you're about to find some out. It's produced by the great Flemming Rasmussen, who had done such singer-songwriter projects as Rainbow, Morbid Angel, Blind Guardian, and Artillery, plus many, many more. This was their second album. It was recorded in Denmark over 3 weeks at Flemming's Sweet Silence Studios. The other folks working at the studio had advised against him doing it due to a lack of confidence in the band. The song is written about the 10th plague of Egypt from the perspective of the angel of death, because of course it is. Hammett, Kirk Hammett that is, guitar player, had written the main riff when he was 16 years old, and the die part came from a song called Die by His Hand that he had written while in the band Exodus. While watching the movie The Ten Commandments, Cliff had remarked, "Whoa, it's like creeping death," about the scene where the plague is represented by a fog rolling through the palace, and the band went, "Hello, hold on a minute, we'll have that. Let's make a fucking song out of it called Creeping Death." We're going to start with Lars Ulrich. Hold on, this headphone has got all sorts of issues. It just keeps getting worse. We're going to start with Lars Ulrich on bass. Nice there. Herrick Angelo Despotavidino is in the house. Of course he is. Our very own resident metalhead. So we're going to start with Lars. Let's do this, Lars. What do you got, man? What do you got? Ah, got some of that. Okay. Seems mellow. And go. Man, that is a meander. A meander around. That is a long walk around the fucking drum set, man. That's like, you gotta hit every tom at least once. Maybe go for 2. They are beautifully tuned, I'll give you that much. And we're off. It's all happening. Oh, you know what? He's comporting himself pretty well behind the kid on this one, I will say. I like some of these fills. So much verb. All right, all right. It's interesting how the snare sound changes on these fills, though. I wonder what's going on there. Interesting. I would like to find that out. I will say, as a drummer and record producer myself, I'm willing to hazard a guess that perhaps Lars's bass drum pedal had a little too much tension involved in it. I would have had him back off that a little bit. All right, it's all happening. Yeah, it's possible it might be an overdubbed snare. It does sound like it's got a lot more bottom head on it, she said, smiling, than the other one does. But it doesn't. So the lead, then we get a stop, then we get the die bit where it goes. Ooh, toms. Fairly unique way to ride that floor tom out. I'm in. Hold on. I'm looking for the Metallica card. Yo! Hold on, Lars, you sassy Danish bastard. A little bit of the old snatch grab on the cymbal as we hit. Blop, blah, 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 blah. It's very interesting. I'd love to know. I'd like to talk to Lars and find out how and why they did this. It's only on the fucking. It's only on the 4 hits. It's only music. It's the only time he does it. Yeah, those toms are beautifully tuned, man. You know, it's rocking along. It's it's Lars. He's a journeyman. He's doing the gig. At the end, we get some of this. Big hits. Wow. Somebody who knows a little more than I. Is this the Tama days? Is he still? It's time for the big state fair ending, everybody. Good night, Cleveland. Hey, JBone9379. Let's let the champ who's been doing this for 5 years, has been doing them on Instagram, do this for, I've been doing 800 songs, man. Let me pace it out my way. You'll get your Cliff Burton bass. Just let me do my job. All right, champ? I don't need a producer. Don't need a producer, I don't need anybody else. That's why I did this way, so I don't have to concern myself. Like it. You know what? I'm going to give that ending a fucking 10. Oh, this was the beginning of the Tama days? I'll tell you what, back in the day, man, Tama really, I don't want to talk shit about Tama, but Tama have somewhat lost their, they've lost their vibe. They've lost their way a little bit. Not enough people, everyone's on the DW train, and I have a DW kit myself, and I'll tell you what, I have a DW fucking Pro Master Class Super Duper fucking set that's, specifically, fucking built for me, tuned fucking, the shells have a fucking tuning in them like D, and it's a fucking nightmare. I can't tune the fucking thing to save my fucking life. It is miserable. I was way better off with a Pearl kit, man. I could fucking tune a fucking Pearl kit like... This DW thing is hard fucking work. Hard work, I tell you. All right, so here we go. We get to the great Cliff Burton. For those of you that have been hanging in with us, if you also want to hear it, there is, I believe, some on the archive, the SoundCloud archive, but I don't think that I put Ride the Lightning on there, only because it's a 28-minute opus, and couldn't really condense that down to 20 minutes on the on the radio. But here we go. Cliff Burton. Cliff is a badass. Cliff Burton's bass line on Ride the Lightning is one of my fucking favorite. It was Tama and Pearl back in the day. Though I will say Deep Green Rider. The other one that was big was Sonar, but Sonar was very specific, as we were talking earlier in the week when we were playing some Maiden, or was it last week? However late it was, they were all blurred into one big fucking Kafka-esque nightmare. Sonar. Metalheads loved the fucking Sonar. Supplies, it's a surprise to me that Lars actually didn't go Sonar style on it. But anyway, here we go. Cliff Burton. So, if you don't know, the patron saint of if you're new to the session, Mom Jeans, the patron saint of the session is the late, great Lemmy of Motorhead, to the point where we have numerous things, including of course, if you think you're too old to rock and roll, then you are Lemmy Candle. We have a hardware almost all. Is that what happened, Den Joyce, with the Sonars? So Lemmy is the patron saint of the session, and the reason for that is I was trying to think after watching Comedians Who Cause Me Coffee, getting coffee. They're always struggling with Bill Cosby, and I didn't want to struggle with somebody, but I wanted to know if there was some character that joined all of the sort of like eras of music, and was there one guy? And there is one guy. There's one guy that fucking his name and the band and the vibe goes all the way through, right? And that's Lemmy from Motorhead. And there's a couple of things. So first off, he was Jimi Hendrix's acid roadie back in the day. Because he had been, I believe, Chaz's roommate or something. And he, oh yeah, dude. Motorhead on the Young Ones, dude. I saw that in real time in England the first time that I saw that. And Lemmy came on, they did fucking Ace of Spades, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And how do I get in on it? Lemmy was Hendrix's acid roadie. Proceeds to fucking go through all that shit. The Beastie Boys, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, No Sleep Till Hammersmith, which is a Motorhead record. Of course, Lemmy is a unique character in the history of music. And then on this one, so this is kind of, we'll go through the story of Cliff coming into the band, and then we will go on and talk about the connections. So Cliff was in a band called Trauma in San Francisco, and in 1982, they came down to play in L.A. at the Whiskey. All three of the dudes from Metallica went to go, Hetfield and Ulrich were in the crowd, and what they thought they heard was a shredding guitar player. Turned out the sound that they were hearing was actually a shredding bass player. So they asked him to join Metallica, and he said it would only, to check out this shit, he said he would only join Metallica if the entire band moved to San Francisco. Guess what they did? They moved to fucking San Francisco. Now, when they were on, this is the tragedy of the whole thing. So when they were on tour for the Master of Puppets tour in Europe, back in the old days, buses... But back in the day, especially in Europe, all they did was they took a regular bus, and they just put bunks in the bus, right up against the windows. So, on the bus on the Master of Puppets tour, the bunks sucked, so the band would pull cards to see who got which bunk. And the lower bunks are a nightmare because they're closer to the engines, and it fucking bounces and blah, 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 blah. So, Cliff pulls a card out of the deck, because that's how they decided, and he gets the ace of spades. And he turns to Kirk Hammett and he says, "I'll have your bunk." And Kirk slept up front, which saved his life, and Cliff slept in a bunk right next to one of the windows. So, the bus goes off the road, crashes, flips, and Cliff is projected out of the bus through the window and killed. The driver said that he slipped on ice, and James Hetfield was convinced that he had been drinking. And he actually went out and he, by all accounts, walked the road for a mile or so to try and find this black ice that the fucking bus had spun out on, and there was no ice. And this kills Cliff, and the band is ultimately never the same again, because when you, especially Ride the Lightning, I haven't listened to this one specifically, and of course all Metallica suffers from the same criminal negligence. The bass is so fucking low in the mix. All I know is Ride the Lightning is a goddamn fucking masterpiece of a bass line. So we're now going to listen to the late, great Cliff Burton, who, to me, is the heart and soul of Metallica. He was clearly the most musically gifted of all of them. They'll even admit that. And yes, Cliff was decapitated. And he was the most gifted of all of them musically. And he brought so much fucking fire to their tracks. And, much as the band goes on to have all of these huge successes, obviously, I mean, they go on to become Metallica. I mean, there's nothing more, as far as, metal that is in the collective consciousness of the world. I don't think there is a bigger metal band than Metallica. But the soul of the band was the late, great Cliff Burton. It's a little, if I may, there's a little bit of fucking Tom Sawyer happening there. Got it? Jesus, Christmas cakes. Was he a Rickenbacker player? Heretica Angelo Spininu. Rickenbacker? Oh, really? Miles Larkett Glass. The high notes were played on heavy guitar strings. So wait a minute. So he had bass strings on his lower strings, and then the upper higher fucking strings were just heavy gauge guitar strings? Aria Pro? Man, that is a hell of a racket to get out of a fucking Aria Pro. Holy shit. Put it to you this way, folks. The same bass that he's playing to do this is the one that fucking John Taylor uses to play fucking Rio. Oh, Mixdown says it's all, well, we'll go with Mixdown. Thanks some Detroit girl. Mix Magazine. Mixdown Mag says it's Rickenbacker on all the recordings. It would make sense. This is a very Rick sound, man. Good Lord. Man, that is fucking sick. This chorus riff. Well, yeah. So here's the thing. So let's just quickly check it out. So that's the sound of Cliff's bass. This is the sound of Lemmy's bass through the Murder One fucking bass system, the bass tower. It's way gnarlier. Are you ready? Bananas. Listen to that's the sound of the fucking Marshall. Listen to the goddamn machine hum coming off this thing. So hold on. Cliff's pinky was almost non-available in his playing because he tore the tendons. So he's like doing just fucking these fingers. My flowers just died. All right, so that's what we're talking about when we talk about Lemmy's bass sound. It's just a fucking wall of distorted madness, but also melodic and precise at the same time. Can't fuck with it. So when we get back to Cliff's a little bit more controlled than the Lemster is, but he's in there as well. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't have a guitar amp on top of the thing, on top of the thing, on top of the thing. Oh, dude, this is the interlude between the two. By the way, Blake Runyon, get ready for a November, possibly a November Death, Die reunion. Vegas, baby, Vegas. Yeah, like Entwistle and him would have met and been like, what do they look like? Let me see them. I mean, like, so there's the Lemmy similarities, right? Is going from the single notes to the chords. Lemmy does a lot more chording the whole time, but Cliff's also using the same. So there you go. The space in between, in that stop, you can hear that there's not nearly as much white noise in between. Ready? What's up, Tony Roach? I was telling everybody, man, I am so fucking stoked for the fucking Papa Roach session that we're gonna do. Where we're gonna do the brand new shit. It's gonna be fucking bananas. I was talking to fucking Tony about it, and he was like, "Oh man, I thought you were gonna do fucking Last Resort." I'm like, "No, man. This new shit is on the Judgment Night tip. It's sick." Jesus Christ. Heavier. It's like black hole heavy, man. with fucking Lars. Bit is fucking bananas. This fucking lead 2 section. What the fuck is going on here? All right, so everyone's pointing out the wobble. So here's what's interesting. If I move the drum track back, how many frames? Just see. It's almost an entire 64th. They actually sync up. So the question would be, was this right? It's perfectly on. Right? So what's interesting, because I can't, there's no fucking way. Rasmussen said Lars didn't know what an upbeat was until this album. So the question is, Jesus hand, get it together. Was there an error made in, let me just see what happens with the guitars. The guitars are actually, we'll put them in later, but this seems to work better. An entire 64th. Right? You know what engine room this is? This is whatever that fucking whatever the fucking thing that Mad Max drove in the first Mad Max. The Interceptor. Well done, Foghorn 37. So this is interesting. We'll go back. Some people have asked if we play the ending without Lars all over it, so we will do that. But I just want to put the drums back. First off, I want to mark. I'm going to mark where this. I'm going to mark where the actual start point is, where they sync. So please hold, because I want to make sure we can get that back, just in case, because that's actually very interesting. It's very interesting that is a, I'm going to write sync. That'll make sense to me at a later point. The fact that it's an entire 64th off. So if we put Lars in where the stems were sent. All right, that all syncs. Wait. That's probably how it went. Yeah, that 64th makes all the difference. So I wonder, hold on, let's do the hits on the end. Yeah, man. Interesting. Yeah, it's very slippy. It's very slippy. All right, people wanted to hear the ending. Let's go from lead 2, as we've labeled it, and then come through to the ending so we can hear Cliff on his own here. Ready? interestingly, there are these. Let me just check something real quick on the guitars. All right. Yeah, it's very. That's actually pretty clever. It's unforeseen. There are clicks on the bass track. You can hear these like annoying little clicks, and what that sounds like to me is that the sample rate was different on this track. Everything I do is in 44, and I'm wondering if this came through at like 48, and has actually been because of that the file actually becomes corrupted in its time. So I'm wondering if that's what's going on here. Because there's no other clicks on the drums and there's no clicks on the guitar. Interesting. I mean, this is completely fucking da-down-da-down. Yeah, I would have to, I can fix that, which I will do for future reference, because that would explain it. There's definitely some sort of weird sample rate issue going on there. I've had whole songs do that. It's fucking annoying. All right, so lead guitar is a guy by the name of Kirk Hammett. I love that. There's a great scene in the Some Kind of Monster documentary where Bob Rock is in the studio with Kirk Hammett. He's getting frustrated about this lead, and he was like, "You just got voted the best fucking metal guitar player of all fucking time, or best metal guitar player of the year. Why don't you fucking play like it?" Like, furious at him. All right, so let's get to the guitars. Now, don't forget, on the guitar front, Hammett had written the main riff when he was 16. And then the die part he had written from a song called Die by His Hand that had been penned while in Exodus. So, how about some of this? Holy shit and shitfucks. What is that, a Randall? Now, because you're missing out on the stereo version of it, there's one on either side. And it's not a delayed one on either side. It's one on either side, and it's got the riff is almost exactly the same. Like even the little dog barks in between. Like even though it's bad. There's a way to support what I'm doing here at the session. All you have to do is donate through the PayPal, which is by the website at the top of the old bio there, or the Venmo, which is Britdick, BRITDICK. Feel like donating to support, be greatly appreciated. I was always thinking, like, what I should do is, like, I want to get one of those, like, thermometers outside a fire station and be like, if we get to $135, I will play the fucking lead. But I won't do that. Ready? All right, so that sucked. All right, so that's fucking sick. I think that the thing is a single track, and then the guitar splits to a double track on the guitar for the harmony bit, because it actually pans out just a little bit. That whole fucking thing that's happening there. Come on. He loves them triplets. I love the fact you can also hear Christian Shit Show Neighborhood Bingo. Everybody check off the sirens square. There you go. I like the fact that you can actually, as the guitar lead fades, you can hear the as he gets ready to hit the fucking riffage. It's possible. I don't think it's a flanger. What you're hearing is the airplaning of Instagram taking the signal down to mono. So the two tracks that are left and right are playing on top of each other, and they're then causing a flange. They're not negating each other, but they are flanging out. Let's fucking surf the alien. Little math rock spy hunter. Lead 2 is coming up. All right, so this is clearly harmonized, everybody, and one on one side and one on the other, unfortunately. What the dickens? Let's do that lead one more time. This is my favorite. Oh yeah, speaking of which, Breezer Eater with F. Bezos. Did everybody see that fucking video of Jeff Bezos thanking all of the Amazon employees and all of the Amazon customers for making it possible for him to go into space? Is this guy is a, I tell you what, man, he's fucking making us fucking bald guys look like fucking assholes. The only thing I'm happy about is he doesn't have the fucking compensatory beard. He's a new guy. I would see fucking dudes with like no shave, like a shaved head and no compensatory facial hair. I'm like, you just look like a pair of fucking eyebrows that are floating in fucking space. Speaking of floating in fucking space, you fucking sociopathic fucking scumbag. I want to thank the Amazon employees and the Amazon customers for making this possible. You fucking sociopathic fucking cunt. Holy shit. That motherfucker, eat balls, douchebag. I mean, that is a beefy riff, she said, smiling. Ooh, I do love that, man. JMS 1971, you're deaf in your right ear, so wearing headphones is really hard for you to hear in stereo. Well, you can't really, you'll never be able to hear in stereo, unfortunately, but what I would do is I would get a, it's kind of a bit of a pain in the dick, but what I would do for listening for headphones is I would get yourself an amplifier, like an integrated amp, get like a Sony or something off of fucking eBay for like $40, because nobody uses integrated, so that shit anymore. Get yourself one of those, and then it'll have a, no, there's nothing you can do. I'm sorry, I would have completely fucked that up. There's nothing you can do. That's awful. I'm so sorry. There's really no way for you to be able to hear stereo, because the whole point of stereo is like one on either side. That sucks. I love that. Ending. Ready? Oh, I didn't miss it, Frick style. I didn't miss it at all. Check the box, everybody. We've had the Twitch mention. Check Twitch mention on the old Christian shit show neighborhood bingo. All right, let's do this. We're going to try. So first off, there's underneath those leads, obviously there's big, beefy body guitars happening. So underneath lead one, we get a little bit of this. Oh. With the lead over the top, you get some of this action. Yeah, it's good, McSquack. I was going to say that. Yeah, so that's actually a good point. Yeah, that was kind of the direction I was going in. I got a little lost, so McSquack, that's a very good point. Thank you. Yeah, so here's what you should do. So you're deaf in one ear, so you're not going to be getting the stereo effect. So there's nothing you can do for that. But if you get an old, like a headphone amp, somebody said headphone amp, it's too expensive. There's no reason for that. Just get yourself literally like a $60 fucking Sony integrated amp. Doesn't have to be anything special. Just make sure that it's got a headphone jack on it and a mono switch. And most of them have a mono switch. So then just get a little cable that will allow you to plug your phone into one of the, like you just get something that'll go from, if you got an iPhone, you need the Lightning. If you've got a If you got an Android, I think they still have an 1/8" jack because they're smarter. So get an 1/8" jack to an RCA, plug that into the back of the RCA, then plug the headphones into the headphone jack and hit the mono button. And then what will happen is, even though you'll still only have it in one ear, you will get all of the information of the song in that one ear. And it won't be phasey and weird. All right? So that's what I would suggest to at least be able to hear all of the information from the song, because you're obviously only getting one of that side. If you want an official headphone amplifier guide, I mean, really the best thing to get, I think the not a headphone amp, but it is a headphone amp, is the PS Audio, the little fucking single fucking slice of bread fucking thing they have. It's amazing. It's amazing. Ooh, the Samsung phone has a mono switch. Ooh, that's clever. Well done. So if you have a Samsung phone, it has a mono switch built into the Samsung phone, which would allow you to be able to hear all of it on one side. If you don't have a Samsung phone, then you'll need something else to do that. JMS 1975. So if you have a Samsung phone, I guess there's a mono switch in there which would allow all the information to feed. If not, then just get yourself something really cheap and cheerful, because it's not going to have to drive speakers or anything else. And it has a mono switch, and you'll be good to go. All right? Oh, it is way gnarlier with the fucking backing. iPhone has it in settings, accessibility. All right, so there you go. So if you have an iPhone, go into accessibility, and it'll have a mono switch inside accessibility. Thanks, everybody. That's very helpful. There you go. All right, so check that out, man. If you have an iPhone. That's my favorite bit, the wind-up. Oh, no, you want to celebrate mono there, B-Childs? Mono mixes of all the Beatles. If you haven't listened to all the mono mixes of the Beatles, you need to listen immediately to all the mono mixes of the Beatles, because you have not heard the Beatles until you've heard the mono mixes of the Beatles. So much drama, man. Coming over the fucking top of the mountains on a bunch of fucking elephants. Slides out. All right, so let's see what happens when we throw Cliff's bass over the top of this. With the clicking, might be a little bit janky. One side, from the left. Chris Thomas once described the sound of the guitars and bass in the Sex Pistols as a fucking Panzer division. Yeah, by the way, for music nerds in the room, the guitars I have 5 dB above mix. The bass I have 7.5 dB above mix. Knife fight guitars. Joe Satriani, I believe, Missouri. Listen to that shit. All right, I'm going to drop the guitars down even further. Hold on a minute. I'm going to bring the guitars down so we can hear, listen to what the fuck he is doing during this hold. Ready? Hold on. I want to hear it one more time because it's fucking delicious. If anybody wants to know what songs I've done, because I have done Tool, I have done Def Leppard, please go and check out the sessionarchive.com. That's the sessionarchive.com. There's an extensive document there. We'll tell you all of the fucking 800 songs we've done in the past fucking 16 months. A few of you have missed out on a few of those, so just check through there, okay? That's the best way to do it. Oh, I love this bit where they come up the top of the mountains with fucking their beaver pelt fucking capes flowing in the wind. This is the Purple Banana part of the song. There's nothing fucking cooler than fucking fret slides. That's a good point. D.A. Preen Greenwriter. He did. He wore fucking bell bottoms and fucking rocked this hard. It's amazing. Didn't give a fuck. That's ridiculous. And by the way, this mix is pretty outrageous. I did so when I did this on the radio, I'd end the radio show with like playing the song all the way through, and I did my own bass up mix of Ride the Lightning. And then like a fucking few months later, fucking Metallica releases a bunch of bass up remixes of remasters of the fucking shit. And I was like, are we all listening to KLOS and like heard how fucking dope it is? Because I mean, the thing to remember, like, everyone's bemoaning the low bass. You have to kind of remember that, like, don't forget, they're actually like a thrash metal band still at this point, even though the drama of it is obviously building and they're becoming much more of that version of it. So there's still, you know, in the punk thrash kind of, you know, milieu, if one may. And, there's no fucking bass in that shit. You know, like, it's rough, rugged, and raw. Like, it's Garage Days fucking, you know, like, that's what they're aiming for. So the bass is turned down because, you know, like, that's just how that shit worked. Now we have, you know, bass can be turned up because A, we don't have needles to worry about, and B, stereo systems can handle it. So it was like much more, you know, so the bass is all turned down and all that stuff. It's just more about the guitars and the drums. It's just unfortunate that it means that a majority of the, you know, but all of the Cliff Burton stuff, and even, you know, I mean, Jason fucking Newsted used to complain about it all the time. They you know, they would turn it down the mix. They was like, hey, fucking turn it up, man. Could you turn it up a little bit? And they were, nah, you know, nah, we're good. We're good. A little bit lower on the bass. Can we fucking do it? So now I'm sure that they go back and are like, man, we need to put out mixes where like Hand is doing, where fucking Cliff is sitting at 7.5 above the fucking 7.5 above the old mixes, man. 7.5 decibels above mix is a jet engine. All right, so the song itself is 1:30 to 8, so it's about 6.5 minutes long, and the amount of time that James Hetfield sings for is 2:35 to 2:50. That's 20 seconds. It's about 20 seconds. That's about 20 seconds. That's about 20 seconds. So what's that? That's a minute 20. Minute 40. Minute 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 20. So out of the entire 7 and a bit long song, he sings for little over what? 1, 2. That's a minute. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So, you know what? I mean, doesn't need a lot of James Hetfield when you got all that Cliff and all that fucking Hammett happening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all right. Shut down the chat. If you're new to the experience, Mom Jeans, welcome everybody. It's nice to have you here. It's really lovely to see how well all of the Mom Jeans and the fucking OGs of the session are all getting together and hanging out and being respectful and all of that. Yeah, and James has his young person voice in this song. So what we do when we come to the vocals is just out of respect, you know. Even you know, James Hetfield deserves our respect. So what we do is we put our phones to one side. We get a very quick shutting down of the chat for 2 and 20. Put your phones to one side, put your tablets to one side, put your computers to one side, just put everything to one side and just sit and listen and bathe in the glory that is a young James Hetfield coming to terms with being James Hetfield. You know, and like, yeah, I put up a picture on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Christian James Hand, please feel free to follow me on Christian James Hand. My Instagram story is my art project. And I put up a young picture of Whitney Houston. And I talk about this in my show when I do it live, and I bring up pictures of like John Lennon and those guys, like people that have passed at their, you know, at the time when they, when they're still young and they're still beautiful. And because getting old, look at me, just sucks. It's the same thing with this, right? Like, this band has no idea of the darkened future that is coming their way. And it's like a little bit, it makes me a little bit sad because they don't, like we do. We know how the story ends now, and they do as well. But when you go back and you have these like time machine moments where we get to listen to them at such an early age, it's really sad to me because they don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're fucking young and fucking gonna take the world on. Within a few years, the greatest tragedy. So, as you listen to this, be in silence to also honor, because we talked all during his bass line, because his bass line's amazing. But let's be silent to also honor the memory of Cliff. Would seem appropriate. But put everything to one side, and just listen to the dulcet tones of Mr. James Hetfield.
Slaves, Hebrews born to serve, to the Pharaoh, heed to his every word, live in fear, faith of the unknown one, the deliverer, wait, something must be done, 400 years. So let it be written, so let it be done, I'm sent to by the chosen one. So let it be written, so let it be done, to kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son, I'm creeping death. Now let my people go, land of Goshen, go, I will be with thee. Bush of fire, blood running red and strong, down the Nile, plague, darkness 3 days long, hail to fire. So let it be written, so let it be done, I'm sent to by the chosen one. So let it be written, so let it be done, to kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son, I'm creeping death. Die, die my hand, I creep across the land, killing firstborn man. Die, die my hand, I creep across the land, killing firstborn man. I rule the midnight air, the destroyer, born, I shall soon be there. Deadly mass, I creep the steps and floor, final darkness, blood, that blood painted door, I shall pass. So let it be written, so let it be done, I'm sent here by the chosen one. So let it be written, so let it be done, to kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son, I'm creeping death.
That last fucking chorus. So three things. First off, this fucking last chorus with the Phil Anselmo dark voice.
So let it be written, so let it be done, I'm sent here by the chosen one. So let it be written, so let it be done, to kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son, I'm creeping death.
Now, what's bananas is we haven't heard this before because I don't remember hearing this on Ride the Lightning. You get to hear that James has a vibrato. Like, we might have heard it on fucking Ride the Lightning, but I don't remember it being this pronounced, man. Fucking, it's so good.
So let it be written, so let it be done.
Done.
So let it be written, so let it be done, I'm sent here by the chosen one. So let it be written, so let it be done, to kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son. I'm creeping death.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
I'm creeping death.
And what's interesting is, I've done this a couple times now. The first time I learned about this trick was actually from Timbaland. But so what's happening here is like usually you put the vocals down the middle, right? But the vocals on all of this are on either side.
So let it be written, so let it be done. I'm sent here by the chosen one. So let it be written, so let it be done, to kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son. I'm creeping death.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
so let it be written.
great. Somebody said that that's Cliff on the dark background vocal. Gotta amend the card. Please hold. Also background on last chorus. But then the die part is fucking stacked with production. I wish there was a way to pull this to pieces because it's got so you've got the group on either side, die, die, like yelling. But then there's this. You can actually hear it as it goes. So there's actually a die, 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 die sound that's looping through. That's been filtered pretty heavily. That's dead center, and it sounds like a whisper, but I don't think it's a. Oh no, it is your voice. So there's a whisper that's also heavily radio toned. It's some great fucking production right there. Yeah, but it's like, so it's interesting, right? It's clearly the whole band is yelling die, but it sounds like, I'm trying to think, when is this? Can somebody check? We found this out the other day. 84, I believe we found out, didn't the Eventide harmonizer show up in 82, was it? Because it definitely sounds like, if you play this backwards, it says turn the bass up. Well done, Chris Neurons. So it does. It sounds like the dies have been. You can use a harmonizer to create like a pseudo. The Eventide HW8000. I don't know if it was the 8000 at that point, but whenever the Eventide harmonizer shows up, it sounds like. That's how you can get a fake crowd noise, because you run it through the Eventide and you kick it up a little bit so it has a harmonizer. So the Eventide harmonizer basically allows you to build stacks of harmonies. It's when you listen to Def Leppard, that chorus thing that Mutt Lange invented, where it's like this stack of gorgeous fucking harmonies happening. That's the Eventide harmonizer at its like peak fucking usage. But it sounds like they were doing some sort of. Yeah, but it's not a big a budget because it was Rasmussen's studio, which was pretty accomplished at that point. The reason they went there was because Lars wanted to go back to fucking Denmark, wherever the fuck it is. So I'm fairly sure that Rasmussen had done some pretty like his curriculum vitae with fucking Rainbow, Morbid Angel, Blind Canadian Artillery. Like he's done some records. He might be able to appoint and afford one. It wouldn't be the SPX 90. The SPX 90 was not. It is pretty. It is pretty skinny puppy actually. Let's put some drums over the top of it. Oh, you know what we should do? Oh man, I loved making fucking Matt laugh his ass off with this shit the other day. Let's do this shit. Hold on, batten it down, people. Batten down the hatches. We gotta punch up the punch. We gotta engage the drive. We should probably put the crunch at about fucking 7 o'clock. Fucking maybe pull some highs out. Let's see what happens if we fucking do this. Oh yeah. This is Too Dark Park era chaos. Yeah, we've come from 9 Inch Nails to Skinny Puppy at this point. That's pretty good. All right, hold on. Let's take some lows out because it's a little bit crazy on the lows. We need to be able to hear the die bit a little better. But we're getting some Too Dark Park era Skinny Puppy happening pretty fucking good. Thank you. Mid-80s, it's 4 and see the H3000. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, let's add some fucking cliff bottom end on that. Do some of this. Ready? That's fucking magnificent. That's magnificent. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that mix. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn fucking... It's pretty good. All right. Been doing this a while now. Somebody mentioned earlier that it's the birthday of the late, great Chris Cornell today. So we're going to I'm just going to end with a little celebration of Chris. I got to do Black Hole Sun with Michael Beinhorn, who's a really good friend of mine. Lovely chap. Miss him. Moved to Canada. Don't see him as much as I used to. We'd sit and have like fucking 10-hour long 10-hour-long fucking lunches where we just talk shit for hours. I miss him a lot. Yeah, I do know that it's also the Chester's passing, but unfortunately, Linkin Park are on Warner Brothers, and the minute I crank up a Linkin Park song, it gets fucking shut down. So we can't do any Linkin Park, unfortunately. But we're gonna do some Chris Cornell. So we should definitely shut down the chat entirely, just because, you know, kind of out of respect. Oh, before we do that, Cosmo, happy balloon animals, my friend. All right. And I've told this story a couple times, but it's an interesting way to listen back to this vocal. So when Michael and Chris were working on this record, they were doing the vocals. Obviously, the rest of the band had fucked off, and it was just the two of them. And Chris went into the booth, excuse me, and was singing, and just wasn't getting it. Just wasn't finding the place to sing from with the song. So Michael was like, we clicked on the old talkback, was like, yeah, man, why don't you come into the booth, let's just hang out. So I went into the production room, and he's like, into the control room, and he's like, so, what's going on? I was like, no, man, I fucking can't find it, blah, 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 blah. So they ended up sitting and just listening to Frank Sinatra. Beinhorn played him a bunch of Frank Sinatra, and they just sat there, and he absorbed a bunch of Frank Sinatra. And then when he felt ready, went back into the booth or into the main room. I don't know if if he was singing in the main room, if he was singing in a vocal booth off to one side or whatever. He went back out and he sang, and this take is where they ended up. So when you listen to it, it's interesting because when you listen to it without the guitars and the bass and all of that production, and you just listen to it as a vocal, it's kind of croonery. There's a little bit of a crooner vibe going on, man. And it's really interesting once you know that backstory. That was a stunning session we did live, he and I. It really was good. It's sort of like we'd hung out and become good friends at that point. So it was like two mates sitting around and fucking talking about your mate's job, All right, so let's listen to the beautiful tones of Chris Cornell. Shut down the chat. Pay our respects to I consider the Freddie Mercury of the Seattle sound.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows, has the face, lies the snake in the sun. In my disgrace, boiling heat, a summer stench, neath the black the sky looks dead. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Stuttering, cold and damp, still the warm wind, tired friend. Times are gone for honest men, and sometimes far too long for snakes. In my shoes, walking sleep, in my youth I pray to keep
Heaven send hell away. No one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? 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 Hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? 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 Won't you come?
Well, there you have it. One of the greatest voices. I forgot that you can hear the stool creaking because I believe he's sitting down when he's singing that whole thing. The late, great Chris Cornell, of course. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, tonight. Be nice to each other. Be nice to yourselves. I apologize about having to postpone the show on Saturday, but it seemed to be the most responsible thing to do. So don't forget, if you feel like supporting the cause, you can do so through the PayPal of my website and through the Venmo, which is BritDick. Tomorrow night we were going to do Janet Jackson, but I hit up Jimmy, and I was like, hey, I'm going to do Janet tomorrow night. And he was like, man, can you fucking move it a little bit? Because I got my boy's birthday, and I would really like to be there, and I'm going to see if I can convince Janet to show up. So tomorrow night we're going to be doing Dirty Diana, which I've done before, but a bunch of MJ fans have missed it, and somebody's balloon animalsing Dirty Diana. So we'll be doing Dirty Diana tomorrow night for an encore performance, and then Janet either next week or the week after when Jimmy can join us. And he's got so many amazing stories. It really bums me out that we can't do it together in a room with mics and just have him tell the fucking stories, because it's just crazy. It's just crazy. They recorded everything way too hot burying the fucking needles because I forget why they did it, but there was like a misunderstanding about their fucking desk, and their engineer and the fucking fact that they used Ampex tape like saved their asses because I think the calibrations had been off or some crazy shit. Anyway, the snare drum, I was like, what the fuck is with this fucking crank snare drum? He was like, oh yeah, don't forget, man, we fucking recorded everything at like +6 dB, man. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for that. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be able to do this. Thank you so much for everyone showing up and supporting. Thank you so much to all of the Segura people for coming. It's this is a really beautiful thing to be able to share with as many people as we possibly can. I would love to get to 40,000 followers at some point in the not too distant future. So we're about 1,500. We're about 1,500 away. Prince was the one who buried the fucking needles, but it was different because he had a different board or some crazy shit. Anyway, Saturday morning with John Mayer at 10 a.m. We're going to be doing a little chat about how influential I was in making the new record happen. And then I got the stems to that fucking song that I can't get out of my goddamn fucking head. I got the stems to Last Train Home. So we're going to go through those. So if you got some Mayer fans in your life, that's going to be a great morning. So I'll see you here for that. But don't forget, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to be doing some Dirty Diana. Oh, Dirty Diana. Oh. I think everything is going to be here, Steelopus, which I'm a little worried about. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow and see if we can convince him to give me the password, a temporary password, to get onto his Instagram, because otherwise we're going to be inundated unless we keep it very. He might not even. Actually, you know what? He might not even. What he'll do is he won't even publicize it on his Instagram page, which is completely fine. I don't mind that at all. His fans, they're hardcore. So it'll be all here, I would imagine. All right. So you're fantastic. I would do the Dead Kennedys if I could, man. Sorry about it. Don't have it. Don't have any DK up in the bitch. All right. Have yourselves a great one. Happy Balloon Animals Cosmo, and I will see you here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. All right? Thanks, G. Burner 2. Means a lot.